buildings and the building construction sectors combined are responsible for over a third of global final energy consumption and nearly 40% of direct and indirect CO2 emissions. So our buildings, our built environment has a giant impact on whether the world is sustainable or will be preserved for future generations.
Even though you think of construction as this industry that pollutes and uses tons of fuel and produces tons of greenhouse gases, actually is poised to make one of the biggest effects on our future in climate. And that influence you can have has so much to do with efficiency, to plan your routes better driving, excavating, to analyze machines and understand how you can make them more fuel efficient, to dive into our long-running processes and find things with data that don't need to be done, the excess. And there's a lot of it in construction.
For the ability of having to do fewer passes, hitting grade faster, coordinating between machines and minimizing rework. That all drives increased productivity, but that leads to fuel savings.
Two things are intersecting, mechanical and electrical. We have to tear something out and rework it. Or maybe we ordered the wrong parts and we have a schedule delay or so forth. By being able to model some of these things in software and using these services to ultimately get to more of a first-time right solution, there's less waste throughout the process.
Getting a compactor to follow a line within a couple of inches, that can be kind of hard. We are improving productivity by helping you run the machine better, then you don't have to have as much overlap. So we're getting the job done 10 or 20% faster, say. And that is direct impact.
Fabricating everything before you get to site, or as much as possible with minimum amounts of waste, is really critical. The tools are there, the technology is there, we just need to get it in the hands of more contractors and they will be more productive and more sustainable as a result.
Build projects with more efficient, more effective means as far as reducing carbon dioxide levels in a more sustainable way. With the machine control solutions, typically we get a reduction of about 30% machine time, but we also see with digital solutions being delivered to the machine in real time, there'll be less rework, so you don't have to go over and do the same amount of work twice.
And at the lowest level, being a responsible operator on site, being somebody that is doing this expert work, but is really being cognizant of when they're idling the machine, of how they're structuring their day and their work to minimize the amount of fuel they're burning and the effect they're having on the climate. Trash and contaminated materials. I mean, you have construction professionals making decisions about what material needs to go to a landfill and what doesn't.
And stormwater pollution prevention is such a big part of making sure that we stay green. And I think that it's not something that people necessarily think of in terms of sustainability. But the thing is, like, construction produces so much waste. It has the potential to run off into streams. And a big part of that starts with the stormwater plan and making sure that we have the proper measures in place so that we're not having a negative ecological impact.
And so all these decisions play into a massive climate picture, one that I think everyone in construction has some responsibility to understand.